What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Alolan DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Last episode we covered another Alolan Pokemon in Alolan Golem, and I gave you a choice between the remaining two Guardian Pokemon, Tapu Koko and Tapu Fini, for today's episode, and Tapu Koko just went out. There was like one vote in it, so it's very close, but we're covering Koko today. But of course, next episode we're going from Guardians to Ultra Beasts. We have a choice between two Ultra Beasts, and they were ones we've previously had votes on, but lost out, and we have Buzzwole and we have Celesteela. So would you like the bug fighting Buzzwole or the Steel Fly, I believe? Celesteela. Let me know by commenting down below either Buzzwole or Celesteela, and the one with those votes will be covered next episode. But for now, let's jump in and have a look at Tapu Koko. So, Tapu Koko, well, it is an electric fairy type, as I'm sure you know, as well as being 785 in the National Pokédex, as well as being the Land Spirit Pokemon, or at least one of them. It's 5 foot 11 inches or 1.8 meters tall, so fairly large, and weighs 45.2 pounds or 20.5 kilograms. Being a legendary Pokemon, it's genderless, as well as being in the undiscovered egg group and not evolving from or into any other Pokemon. Base stat wise, its highest base stat is speed at 130, so that's where the Guardian mix up of stats comes in here. Has speed at 130, and it's actually physical attack at 115, funnily enough, and then moving down, special attack at 95, defense at 85, special defense at 75, and then finally health points at 70. And in terms of ability, of course, being one of the Guardians, it has a Surge ability, this one being Electric Surge, setting up electric terrain across the battlefield. So what does the electric fairy typing do for it? Of course, we saw Dedenne last generation, so it's pretty much the same as that, or exactly the same. It exists 5 types in electric, fighting, flying, bug and dark, weak to 2 with poison and ground, immune to the dragon type, and taking neutral from all the others. So I'd say generally it's a pretty good type. It's not bad by any means, it's not amazing, but only 2 weaknesses and 1 immunity makes it pretty good. So move wise, now funnily enough, a lot of the moves we're looking at are special moves, even though its special stat is lower. The reason for this being is its physical move pool is a bit more limited than its special one. Physical, we have a few you could use, but nothing too overly sort of effective, I suppose you could say. But of course, we'll look at both. We'll look at a mix of both. So first up, we have one level move, which is Wild Charge level 32. Of course, this is one of your physical ones. This is your physical electro type stab. Of course, you do take recoil from it, one of the reasons why a special set is generally preferred by people, because of course they can use electro type moves that don't give them recoil for about the same damage. Then moving to the TMs, we have TM4 Calm Mind, of course in combination with a special set you could use here to raise both your special defense and your special attack, boosting them pretty high. Then we have TM10 Hidden Power. I mentioned that we have a fairly good special move pool, but Hidden Power is always an option to give you something to counter your weaknesses. Of course, Tapu Koko doesn't have many, but to also shore up some spots and gaps in your coverage. Then we have one sort of healing move, support move, TM19 Roost, of course being a flying bird, I guess it gets it. Of course, good help and restoration there, definitely something about using. Followed up by TM24 Thunderbolt. This is your electric type stab for special sets, same power as Wild Charge, what I'm talking about here, but no recoil of course, so definitely why a special set is more used, I'd say. Then we have TM72 Volt Switch, of course less power, but of course allows you, I could say of course a lot, but allows you to switch out and be a bit more flexible. If if someone switches in on you, you can Wild Charge out before they even get a chance to attack you because of your high speed, so it's pretty good there. TM86 Grass Knight is next, 20 to 120 base power depending on the opponent's weight, but again good coverage, especially against those ground types which can cause you some trouble. A couple more TMs left, we have TM89 U-Turn, bug type move, it's one of your physical moves. It can be used on a special set as well though if you want to be even more flexible, but generally Volt Switch will be more preferred for that. But TM89 U-Turn, definitely something about running on a physical set. Of course you have Wild Charge, you have U-Turn for flexibility, and we'll have another move to look at in a minute. TM99 Dazzling Gleam is our last one though, fairy type stab for your special sets, so definitely something to think about. And the reason why, again, special sets are preferred over physical is there's no physical grass type stab, physical fairy type stab for Tapu Koko, because what's it going to do? Play rough? Not really. So Dazzling Gleam is all you've really got in terms of fairy, hence why special is used a bit more. One final move though is a Heart Scare move, and this is your sort of third physical slot, which is Brave Bird, which is 120 base power, but of course recoil, so yeah, again, another reason why physical sets aren't really used that much, because you have Wild Charge and you have Brave Bird as your main attacks, and they both do recoil damage, so it makes you a bit more frail. I'm not going to be covering physical set because the physical set is basically Wild Charge, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and then Roost, I suppose. So you could do that, or you could get Roost out for something else you might have in your arsenal to go for, you know, choice band. But apart from that, we're going to look at two special sets. The first one being more attacking, and the second one being just a little more, I guess, supportive or longevity wise. So first we have a moveset, 4 moves of course: Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power or Grass Knot, and then Volt Switch. Ability of course is Electric Surge with Timid Nature. Held item is a Life Orb or an Expert Belt or a Choice Specs. And the EVs of course we're maxing out Special Attack and Speed here, with the last few in Special Defense. So we have Thunderbolt, main stab, we have Dazzling Gleam, secondary stab, we have Hidden Power or Grass Knot, up to you which you choose here. Grass Knot of course has a variable power, so it can be less than Hidden Power or more than Hidden Power, but you can't guarantee that, depends what opponent you're facing. Whereas Hidden Power has got a flat 60 base power, which isn't amazing, but of course you can choose any type here. In terms of what would be beneficial to you, you're weak to both Poison and Ground, so ground type moves, or possibly, you know, that's really it, ground type moves, whereas Grass Knot will hinder your ability to hit those poison types, so something to think about there. With the final move being Volt Switch, to allow you to be really quite flexible. If someone switches in on you, you get a free attack on them, and then you can Volt Switch the hell out of that. They don't actually get to attack you at all, so it's definitely something to think about running. Timid Nature is for the speed, because that's what we excel at, and of course we're going to use that to our advantage. Held item wise though, Life Orb is okay if you want to be taking some recoil and just doing a lot of damage. Expert Belt is for the sort of the scenarios where you're going to have a super effective move, so you won't be doing more damage all the time, but you will be doing it in certain situations. You just won't be taking any recoil from your Life Orb. And then we finally have Choice Specs, which locks you into a particular move of course, but of course there's no sort of health loss at all. So choices there. EV wise, we of course maxing out our special attack and our speed for the most power and the most speed we have, with the last few in special defense just to bulk that up slightly more. In terms of using the set, it's a standard Life Orb set. You go in, you do damage, you Volt Switch the hell out of there if you get in trouble, and you can come back in later on. Fairly simple. So we'll move on to the second set, which is more defensive, as we would say, because of course we have Calm Mind. Calm Mind is first, followed by Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam or Hidden Power, and then Hidden Power or Grass Knot. Ability is the same, nature is the same. Held item is basically the same apart from the choice specs, because of course that wouldn't make any sense with Calm Mind, and the EVs are the same. So basically the same set, apart from the fact that you have Calm Mind rather than a Volt Switch. Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, main stab, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power and Grass Knot, choose 2 of 3 basically. Dazzling Gleam is a secondary stab of course, but it might not be too useful for you, whereas Grass Knot can do more damage, but variable damage of course, and then Hidden Power is just lower damage overall, so choose 2 out of 3 and mix them up and see what you get. Really depends on what the rest of your team is packing, because of course if you've got something to deal with dragons, you don't really need to run Dazzling Gleam. So held item is the same as before really, Life Orb by Expert Belt, because no choice specs as mentioned. So Life Orb is a bit risky because of course you're setting up the Calm Mind, so you're really bulky, but then you're really losing health, so you have Life Orb, so Expert Belt may be a bit more useful, but it's really up to your own personal choice. Using this set, you want to set the Calm Minds up, but once you get 1 or 2 of these up, you will be doing a lot of damage, so you definitely got to think about running it, and really the only thing you have to worry about after that is your, not low, but mediocre defense stat, and watch out for any physical poison type attackers or ground type attackers coming in to cut you off. But apart from that, that's really it for Tapu Koko. As I mentioned, you can run a physical set with Brave Bird, Wild Charge, U-Turn and possibly Roost, or another physical move in that slot, but it's more, not to say risky, but it's less living, because you're doing a lot of damage to yourself. So if you come out of a Life Orb, you're really gonna take a lot of damage there. But that is going to be it for Tapu Koko today. So don't forget to vote for next episode's Pokemon, either Buzzwole or Celesteela, so one of the Ultra Beasts. Let me know down below by commenting either Buzzwole or Celesteela. The one with those votes will be covered next episode, but this is going to be it for me for today, so I shall be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye my friends.